I've already filmed the video about to watch. This is a quick add-on. I'm not quite sure if it's clear what the video is about. I'm basically talking about, since COVID happened, I've been extremely depressed for a number of reasons. And I felt like even now that sometimes my life isn't really moving forward, but actually this video is about sitting down, talking about depression and, thinking back to what you've done. And actually my life has been moving forward and I've slowly been trying to get a direction and it's slowly happening, just slowly. I'm starting to make these videos again, which make me so unbelievably happy, even though about 5 people watching, but you 5 people are amazing. Hope that adds a bit more direction to the video. Back to it. Hello, welcome back. Just before we start, I just need to show you this. I hope you appreciate my camera setup today because it is on a table, on a thing with some Harry Potter books. I know to most Harry Potter fans, that's probably offensive, but today's video is titled Post-COVID Depression. Basically, I wanted to kind of show you my story of things that happened to me through COVID because it wasn't good, but was it? I think it might have been a good thing. And there's a saying that I quite like, and it's, for there to be a silver lining, there needs to be clouds. And basically, when COVID hit, I was living in London, paying extortionate amount of money for rent, but I had just started a job that basically paid a decent amount of money. It paid 30k a year, and it was a lot less work than my previous job, and I quite enjoyed it. Basically, I was managing people and managing events, and I quite enjoyed it. The only problem is that I had to spend 4 hours a day traveling to and from work because I could only get the bus, but I'd accepted the job because it was only half an hour away by car. So I was like, right, what's the easiest, quickest way I can get something with an engine in? And I did my CBT, which is compulsory basic training, which means I can ride a small capacity motorbike with L plates. And I was a week away from pulling the trigger and buying this bike, and then I was made redundant from COVID. It was horrible. I have a video of the day it happened on this channel and I was devastated, and then it started to become the what if game. What if I hadn't have taken this job? Because I was headhunted by this company, and what if I hadn't have taken this job and I'd stayed in my old job? And I'd be like, if I hadn't done that, I'd still be living in London. My girlfriend ended up having to move to Scotland, which I eventually did too, because her mum got her a job in Scotland, and we was effectively made homeless if it wasn't for my girlfriend's parents. And I spent a good year trying to find a job. But yeah, I was made redundant and I was absolutely devastated. I was playing the what if game, and if you play that, or sometimes you still play it, what happens if I hadn't done this, what if that, things were going so well, and then bam, done. I was devastated. Go watch that video if you want to see, well, I don't know why you'd want to see my reaction of when it happened, but yeah. And I was playing, what if I hadn't lost my job, if I was with my old job? And then about a month later, I was watching the news and my old workplace was on there saying that they had to let go 98% of their staff. And I used to work in the events industry, and the events industry is probably one of the most hardest hit and the most forgotten, and if I'd stayed there and I hadn't have taken that job, actually when I look back at things would have been worse, because I was just about to renew the lease on the flat that I had. And if I'd done that, I would have been locked in for another year. I would have been made redundant from my old job. And, well, there wasn't any help for people renting. There still isn't, And my girlfriend had to move back to Scotland. She had a normal, minimum wage job. And I was struggling to find jobs anywhere because no one knew how long this was going to last. So we eventually ended up having to leave the flat completely. I moved to Scotland as well, completely devastated. I spent about a good 6 months trying to get any job, anything. But my problem was no one knew how long this was going to last. And because of that, everyone was just looking at my CV and going, you're overqualified. We're not going to bother teaching you, how to become a cashier assistant or anything like that, because you're clearly not going to stay. I got a break when it was getting close to Christmas, got a Christmas temp job at Marks and Spencer's, good old Marks and Spencer's, and they kept me on after Christmas. but it was only a rolling month contract. So I was only employed for a month at a time with a minimum 6-hour contract. So one month I'd have 30 hours, the next, or 1 week I'd have 30 hours, the next week I'd have 6. So I got another job at the co-op, 12 hours, not the best, but it was closer to home. In that time, when I look back, I feel like I haven't done a lot with my time. And that's why I'm making this video, because I still feel depressed sometimes. And I'm making this video to show to you guys that, you know, you just got to keep going. You know, you can still do amazing things, even if it takes a long time. In that time, I learned to drive, bought a car, a decent car, like not like really expensive, but like 2-3 grand a car, paid for the insurance on it. And the biggest thing is where I am today. I am in our own house. Me and Lindsay, we bought this house, and that would never have happened in London, because even like a 2-bed flat in London's like £300,000 minimum, and that's outside of London, you know. So you just really got to try and find the silver lining in things like this, and also find how to switch off. See, I'm dyslexic, so I've never been able to read books and stuff, but do you know what? I really gave it a go to try and read some books, because I was feeling depressed all the time. And I found my niche. Your niche in a book, like your genre. Mine is non-fiction and slightly witty. So, but sciencey based. So like this one up here is called Fuzz. It's like when animals break the law and what happens to them and things like that. And there's one up here called Life Changing, which is about how we have inadvertently changed how animals like evolve, and how we've deliberately also changed animals. And there's another one somewhere that I really enjoyed. Around the World in 80 Trees. I'll quickly show you actually. Around the World in 80 Trees. And it's basically around the world in 80 trees. And there are some amazing illustrations in this book. It's amazing. I'll leave links to these books down below, because they're great. If you want to try and find a niche, it could well be non-fiction sciencey books. But yeah, this video really doesn't have much of a direction, other than if you're feeling like just depressed all the time, or you just really struggle to even just look for jobs or know what direction to go in. Maybe you were in the events industry too before COVID, and you feel like, you know, you're just drained. You don't know what to do. Your skills, you feel like they're maybe not valid, even though things are starting to open up. But my big problem is before I got that job that I lost just before COVID, the job I had previous before that was killing me. I was doing 70 hours a week, like breaking my back, and I wanted to kind of get out of the AV world, audio visual world, because in a way, yes, the rigging stuff up is all fun, but when you do like a show day, you're not really doing much. It's a bit boring. And I discovered in my last job that I'm a people person. I love to manage people and all this kind of stuff. So that is what my aim is. I've done 2 videos now on how I want to work for the BBC. If I end up working for another company that's not the BBC, I'm gonna have to like hide all these videos and not tell them about it. Because I would love to work for any company that involves people managing in film and TV. You know, that's what I want. That's my dream. But yeah, if you are struggling with what I like to call post-COVID depression, you know, just write in the comments. Let's all try and help each other find what makes you happy and to do it. You know, I've also started to try and start sea swimming, because I love the sea, and I love supboarding, which is stand-up paddle boarding, where you're on the board and you kind of do that kind of thing, paddle along. It's great fun, but they're like 300 quid. I don't have 300 quid, but I do have a wetsuit from growing up as a child. I grew up by the sea, and I bought myself a tow float and a dry robe. And well, if you want to know about those things, I will do a video about them, but just need to keep going. Just try and talk to people. Lucky I've got the most amazing woman in my life, Lindsay, and we talk about deep things all the time. If we feel sad, and it helps to just be like, blurt it out and just come out with it. And that way you can try and move forward and find your way through life to make yourself happier. I hope this video helps. I know it is very extremely rambly, babbly, not structured, nothing. I knew that I wanted to talk about COVID now, well, pre-COVID, and how I feel now and where I am. Oh, I don't even have mentioned, I eventually worked my way up in the co-op, and I'll be made a team leader, and I've got 30 hours now, and I'm now on £11 something an hour. And still, yes, work does drag, and I'm always doing freaking late shifts, like 1 till 10 o'clock at night, and then the next day I'm in at 8 till 5. You know, I don't have structure in that way either, which doesn't help when you don't enjoy your job. Because you, like, Lindsay's off at the weekends, so I never get to spend time with Lindsay apart from in the evening, and at the moment that is taken up by watching Stranger Things, so there's not an awful lot of talking because it's so good. Watch Stranger Things, do it. But yeah, please talk, comment if you feel depressed about, even if it's not COVID, if you had a great job through COVID and you getting lots of money and stuff but you still don't feel right, just comment below, we'll talk. We'll get through it. Yeah. See you later, alligator.